Hello everybody and welcome back to Support Conversations. I'm Solanima.
And I'm Zathos.
Welcome back for another, what is it, February 1st now? Yeah, we do it the first every month.
So it's my birthday.
Oh yeah, it is your birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you. And we did this a few years back, we're going to do it again. This month is going to be Fighting February on the channel.
Yep.
I'm going to try and make a bunch of videos of us playing fighting games for Taylor's birthday month.
Mostly it's a bunch of videos of me whooping Corey's ass, but I actually hope this year it'll be different.
Well, I don't want to talk about which games specifically we're going to bring in, but I do have one or two in mind that I'll actually stand a chance in.
Okay.
And one that I actually might be able to destroy you in, but more on that later this month.
Anyways, so, before we actually started the episode, by the way, everybody, we were talking about, you know, how we need to get water, because for those of you that don't know, when you do this for a long period of time, water is good for you. Helps keep your throat, you know, not dry.
Yeah.
And so I was telling him, I was going to tell Corey that, for those of you who don't know, I work at Staples, and
You just prefer Taco Bell, but not your Staples.
yeah, and I have this huge
I also
gallon
like a Japanese way, so it likes to tape produce.
Staples. Anyways, so I have this gallon jug of water that I keep underneath the register because I get thirsty, and as Corey knows, I drink a lot of water.
Yeah, you used to keep like a like a half-gallon
Pitcher of water. You know,
Yeah.
and I refill that thing all the time.
Yeah, but even before that like all the time I knew you always like in your car had a like empty apple juice container full of water,
Yeah.
and you drink like 2 of those a day or something like that. Which is good. Water's good for you.
Yeah, I drink a lot of water, and so when I go to work, I have a gallon jug of water next to me, and what's helpful is that because it's a gallon jug,
It generally gets through the day.
yeah, it does me good. And so, but today I was running out of it. Like I ended up finishing it off, and as I was finishing it off, I was like, that's good vodka. I mean water. And people looked at me, and I was just like a lot of people laughed. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
And they're like I guess nobody can tell now.
Yeah.
So that was great. Like
That's always fun.
A lot of people in my town, despite it being, you know, like full of a handful of religious uptights, a lot of them are pretty fun.
Yeah.
Especially when you can, you know, just make fun of things.
Yeah. We can not be sensitive about every little joke that's made.
Actually, Josh sent me a picture. Let me see if I can find it real quick. We're gonna be digressing, and we're gonna be digressing for a little bit.
Digressing and side questing.
Yeah, that too.
Where's that series? I know there's a YouTube series called that, but I forget who does it.
It's a thing on over there.
Sure.
Okay.
So anyways,
Okay,
let's get to the...
hold on. I gotta read this real quick, okay?
Okay, I was going to say I can't show pictures, this is supposed to be an audio-only thing.
I got you, which is why it is that I'm going to say this out loud. It's from a stand-up comedian called Anthony Jeselnik. I
Okay.
believe. Jeselnik? Anyways.
I don't know.
And it's part of a stand-up bit, and so I'm just gonna read it. I don't know how it is that he normally like says it online, so I won't on stage, so I won't get his inflections right. So forgive me for that. But anyways,
just
he
text.
says, 1 year in high school, I had to take the standardized test. You know, supposed to tell me what I had to do with the rest of my life. And my results came back. They said that I had to either be a rocket scientist or run a laundry service or stop cheating off the Asian kid. Now that's a really smart joke. I mean, usually only Asian people get it. I tried to make that joke on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, the first comedian to ever perform on that show. I don't know if that sounds like a big deal at all, you guys, but it fucking should. And when you do stand-up on a TV show, you have to go through a thing called standards and practices. Do you know what standards and practices is? It sounds like an official thing, right? Like, they just tell you what you can and can't say on TV based on how offensive it is. And it sounds like it'd be really official, but it's not. It's just one person randomly who works there that day, and they're always kind of ridiculous. And on Jimmy Fallon, they were like, Anthony, you can't tell that Asian joke. That's too offensive for us. You have to change it. I'm like, well, what do I have to change? She goes, well, you can't say run a laundry service. That's the offensive part. You have to change that to a different Asian stereotype. So I was like, really? Any other Asian stereotype is fine. And she says, no, Anthony, actually not laundry service and not manicurist either. But anything else is cool. And I said, lady, that's insane. It doesn't leave me any options. But she goes, you got 5 minutes to think of something. Go. So I walk away and I'm racking my brain. And finally I come back to her after 5 minutes and I say, okay, how about instead of laundry service, I say build a railroad. A lot of you are laughing and the rest of you should have fucking gone to class. I'm not even going to say what that means. Just know that build a railroad is 1,000,000,000 times more offensive. A billion times more offensive than running a laundry service. And this woman looks you right in the eyes and say, Anthony, build a railroad? That's perfect. Now, the point of that story is that people who get offended by jokes are fucking stupid. Remember that.
Yeah.
And that will always stay with me from now on.
That's good to remember. I mean, it is possible for a joke to go too far, I think. I don't have any specific examples, but...
Like SpongeBob ripping his pants?
I don't know.
To the point where he, like, pretended to drown?
Pretending to drown. No.
At the very least, he now knows.
Yeah. Not the hard way, but... So anyways, yeah, let's get on to the actual topic of the podcast, or at least that we're starting.
Well, I mean, like, we started off with a joke.
Yeah, that's good, I guess.
Yep, anyways, so
I was gonna... I had a question I thought of yesterday that I couldn't think of, so I'm just gonna go with something more generic. This might be a hard question for you to answer yourself, but
go for it.
Let's say, what is one of your favorite fighting games?
Oh, that's easy. It's not that easy.
Yeah, I know that unless I'm mistaken, fighting games are like your favorite genre of games.
Yeah.
And so that you probably have a lot that you could pick.
I really don't want to say like flavor of the month kind of thing, like where it's like, oh, I like this fighting game a lot right now, which is understandable because like as you grow older, your tastes change. But like I don't want to say.
And games that are fresh and interesting now are not going to have that much longevity.
So I'm gonna break it down a little bit, okay?
Yeah. Why don't you just say like what do you look for in a fighting game?
Oh, that's simple. Aesthetics and nonsense. Now, that's not gonna make a lot of sense to some people. Okay.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. Aesthetics, that means it looks good, right? And nonsense means, well, it's not like something in there has got to be nonsense. Okay. Be it either the story, the setting, the idea, or even the way the characters fight. Something about it has got to be silly.
Yeah.
All right. And
like that one highlight I posted where you're playing like that magician kid who had a lion pop out of his hat.
Yeah, that was nonsense. That was silly. That was great. I died laughing.
You did.
You can hear it. Those are my last words. And so like if I were to, but still that leaves too many video games for me to that leaves too many fighting games for me to love. So do you mind if I break it down?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so my favorite 3D weapon fighting game is Soul Calibur.
I could agree with you on that. Then again, I don't know a lot of other weapon-based 3D fighting games.
Yeah, but you know, I've probably played them. They just never stuck with me. I mean, you could.
I thought it was like Soul Calibur's defining characteristic. It's if not the only one, then one of the very few fighting games that's centered around weapons, rather than just having a couple characters who happen to have weapons.
There was a game mode in one of the Dynasty Warriors that turned it into a bit of a fighter. It was weird. Anyways, 3D non-weapon oriented based is Dead or Alive. Now, specifically Dead or Alive 4. Corey and I, we haven't really gotten into Dead or Alive 5. I've only ever played it because a bunch of drunken friends and we were just like, hey, let's play a game that's good to drink to.
Yeah, I've yet to touch the game, but I think you bought it for me, so that might make it onto this month's Fighting February. But again, we haven't decided that, and we're gonna keep it a secret for sure.
I have. Anyways, so moving right along. So yeah, Dead or Alive, absolutely one of my favorite unarmed 3D fighters. I know a lot of you are probably going to be thinking something like are probably going to be yelling, probably like, oh, what about Tekken or something like that. I like
What about
Tekken.
Street Fighter? I guess it's technically 2D, but
Street Fighter's 2D, yeah. But I
yeah,
like
it's on
Tekken.
2D plane.
I like Tekken, and I like... Oh, God, there's another one I'm trying to think of. I cannot remember. I'm probably just thinking of Tekken twice. It's just that, like, for me, Tekken is always, like, Tekken 1 in the arcade.
Yeah.
Like, that's Tekken for me. And so when I see, like, new Tekken and stuff like that, I get really confused. Oh, Virtual Fighter. That's what I'm thinking. No, I'm not thinking of two Tekkens. I'm thinking one Tekken and one Virtual Fighter. Yeah,
right.
I like both of them. But those are both arcade classics to me. Like... I love to play them in the arcade. I do not like playing them at home.
Yeah.
Like, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Two-dimensional fighters. These are hard for me, specifically.
Yeah.
And I can't really break them down into weapons and non-weapons because...
We can break them down to, like Arc System Works and all the rest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or we could just say, like one of your favorites is just all Arc System Works fighters.
Yeah, well, I love Arc System Works fighters. I absolutely do. Like they're very animated. They're very everywhere. And,
that's what Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue,
they're
Persona.
They're thrilled to play and a wonderful, like, spectacular to watch.
Yeah.
You know, like, I love it. I really do. That being said, some of you might be thinking, well, don't you like Street Fighter or Marvel vs. Capcom? Yeah, I love Marvel vs. Capcom. But I only liked it once we got to Ultimate 3. And I know that's going to get a lot of salt.
Yeah.
I know that's going to get a lot of salt for
yeah, Ultimate 3 was... Not Ultimate 3, but just 3 was the first game I played in the series. But I knew of the series before that.
Okay, yeah. I knew of the series 2 myself, and I played it in arcades, but that was during my button mashing days. Yes, everyone had one.
I believe that.
And so for me, like, I never really got the game. Like, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. But
yeah.
Ultimate Marvel 3, I remember I played it, and I just couldn't wrap my head around it. It just didn't make any sense. And then I played Ultimate Marvel, and that just made perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know what it was that I did in the original Marvel 3 that didn't work, but whatever it was, they fixed it in Ultimate Marvel.
Yeah.
And I do agree with what it is that some commentators are saying. They're saying that Ultimate Marvel 3 is very noob friendly. You know, and so
yeah.
So like it ends up having that a lot of new people can end up coming in and kind of sort of beating professionals, and to which I say, it's good to be humble sometimes.
Yeah. Also, you also should consider the fact that professionals probably are used to playing a certain way, and then if a new player comes in and plays differently, then that shakes things up, and they're not used to it. So.
Yeah, like I think yeah, it's like playing Call of Duty for like 6 years, and then you switch to playing Halo 3. Oh,
or Team Fortress 2.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, those are some of my favorite fighters. This is probably one of the reasons why it is I'll never make a top 10 list, because I can never get to 10.
Yeah.
I get to like 6, and I'm like, that doesn't matter.
That's why with the top 10, you don't usually do it off the top of your head. You make lists ahead of time. So, some people like to write a script so they have every word planned. Other times, people just make lists of 10 and then talk about each one for about a minute.
Yeah.
I've seen both styles, and I think they both work depending on who it is.
Anyways, but yeah, you know, it's a lot of good things. But
yeah, I'm not into fighting games nearly as much as you are.
Yeah.
I still enjoy them, but they fall into the same category of real-time strategy games for me, where I have fun with them, but I'm not professionally skilled at all. Like, the only time I can really have fun in multiplayer with them is if I'm playing with someone who has a similar skill level to me, where I at least have a chance of winning.
Okay.
Because I noticed that even though you win most of the time we play fighting games, I usually get a round or two in, and a lot of the rounds end up being close.
Yeah.
So I feel okay about that. If I were to pick some of my favorite fighting games, Soul Calibur is a huge one, obviously. I've always been a fan of that. Basically, I like games with a, kind of like we said, aesthetics, with a spectacle. Really big super moves. Mm-hmm. And also, it's a big plus if there's any customization in it, which again, Soul Calibur's character editor is really great.
Yeah, Soul Calibur 4 and 5 had fantastic character editors.
Yeah, I never got to try 1 and 3. That's the one. I played Soul Calibur 2, 4, and 5.
It wasn't that great. It like when you compare it to 4 and 5, they've made a huge stride since 3. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just like What they tried to do is that they tried to make it so your character was unique, so that way it wasn't like just a cut and paste of like they had the same fighting style of like another character.
Yeah.
But they had the same fighting style of another character. Like that's all the information that they had to go on. So they had like an incomplete set of fighting style of like an already existing character. So you're like, what?
It's like, why don't I just use that character instead to have more moves available?
Which is pretty much just what I did. I was just like, I'm just gonna play Talim.
Yeah.
Because Talim is awesome.
Yeah. She's one with the elbow blades, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad that she wasn't in.
With the tonfas.
Yeah. It's sad that she wasn't in 5, or they didn't even have someone with her fighting style. Like how a lot of characters moved on, but they had like young characters who took over their style.
Yeah, like
like Natsu
Ziba,
took over for Taki.
Like Ziba for what's his face?
Keelik.
Keelik.
Yeah. Or like I said, Natsu for Taki.
Yeah, but specifically,
or how like I know you weren't a big fan of Alpha Patroclus taking over Setsuka.
Yeah, I really wasn't, but like
you at least get the styles you can put into a custom character.
Of course, and that's what I did. I took Alpha Patroclus' style and kind of put it into a character who I thought would really work. I'm pretty sure that if I were to boot up Soul Calibur 5 in my Xbox right now and like put in the disc and you're like, okay, let's play, I'd be like, God, what the fuck was wrong with me?
Looking at your previous characters.
Yeah, like I always I love things with character creations where you can create your character, because pretty much the entire time that I'm making the character, I'm coming up with like a whole backstory for them and shit.
Yeah.
You know, like each piece of armor is also like another chapter in their story of like why it is that they're wearing this and all this and that and this and that. And so it ends up being a lot of fun for me, like, because I always like making things like this sounds a lot worse. I could word this much better, but I like making up stories. Yeah. You know? So...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know, like who doesn't
it's fun
enjoy
to, like,
a good story?
It's fun to roleplay into your characters when you...
Yeah.
Yeah, even if there's no story element to it, it's like, this character, like, this is where they come from, that kind of
thing. They come from here, their past is this, and this is why it is that they want that.
Yeah.
You know, like you come up with a goddamn reason for their existence, not just that they exist.
Yeah, I mean, customization has always been a huge plus. I can apply that to any game genre, pretty much. Because I grew up playing a lot of games where I could exercise my creativity, which is probably why I really want to go into game design. Because that's like the next step is, you know, making games instead of just making custom things in games.
Just make sure you make them in machine code.
Yeah. It's still insane that, for those who don't know, that the guy who made one of my favorite childhood games, Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2, were both written in like machine code, like really low level code, and then he used C++ to make it, or maybe it's just C, to make it compatible with Windows, which is why it ran so well, because it was written at such a low level language, which no one does it because it takes so much effort and it's so difficult to write in that kind of language.
Yep.
It's just one guy, and he had like a couple people who helped like the sound and the like icons, something like that. So yeah, like I was saying, Soul Calibur is a big favorite of mine. Ultimate Marvel just because of how flashy the supers are, and I never really got that good at it.
Like fucking Ryu's Hadouken has never looked so humongous.
Yeah. The
goddamn Kamehameha of death.
Yeah. BlazBlue you got me into, and that's the only one I ever felt like I ever had a chance of being competitive in.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm amazing, but I'm not bad Lambda player.
But like, it's one of the few games that I got you into, and then when I stopped playing, you kept playing. You know, like you didn't need me there for you to keep playing, and I felt good. You know, just like, oh, he really likes this.
I mean, I kind of have a tendency in fighting games to pick one character and focus really hard on that character and get good at them.
Yeah. Because
I just don't have the. I don't know. It's hard for me to get really good with a bunch of characters unless I play the game for a long time. So like in BlazBlue, I'm a great. I hesitate to say it, but I consider myself to be a pretty solid Lambda player, but I'm not really good with anybody else.
Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, I have some tricks with characters like Tager because they're fun, but.
Yeah. Like for me, I was really good with Hazama, and then I started having difficulty fighting your Lambda, and I got to the point where I was like, maybe I need to look into someone else. And then I got Tsubaki, and then I just rush you down with Tsubaki, you're like, whoa!
Yeah.
You're like, this is a complete 180.
Yeah, but even though when we're doing like because we usually have the most fun when we're playing Lambda versus Hazama.
Yeah.
And we got to the point where we were like playing mind games on each other.
Yeah. We're
Like I have this one move and you get like really frustrated with like how it's really hard to dodge. Like I had like this forward charging attack that just slammed against the wall.
Yeah.
And you're just like what are we supposed to do against that? And eventually you found ways around it, and then I had to find ways around your way around it. You know, like to go for a low attack instead of a slamming attack.
Yeah. And then you do a fake dash and go for a grab.
Yeah.
And then I
feel like there's a funny reaction the first time I did that. Like where I just did a light dash and then grabbed you instead of slamming you.
I was like, huh. Oh.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. I think I can see how you felt. Like as I was learning the game.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I play Hearthstone against you, and you actually make some really good plays. Like, oh, he's learning. Like that was actually a really good play.
Like, oh, that was smart. Yeah. And then like 2 turns later, I fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. And one other game I'll put onto my list of favorite fighting games, even though you're not gonna agree with me, is Super Smash Brothers.
It's okay. Sorry. Yeah, that's okay. I'm allowed to disagree with you.
Yeah.
Now,
I feel like we've talked about this before, but you don't consider Smash Bros. Series to be actual fighting games.
Yes, and I don't say this to step on anyone's toes. I don't say this to get anyone upset. If you spend like day in, day out practicing on Smash and becoming really good at Smash, congratulations, you're good at Smash. Okay, I'm not going to argue that. Okay.
Yeah.
If I don't consider it a real fighter, that really shouldn't affect you.
Yeah.
No. The reason why I don't consider it a fighter is
I was about to ask that.
It has never felt like a fighter to me. All right, like
yeah.
My brother and I, we always played Smash together, right? And you know, like we'd of course go through single player a lot of the times. And so what would happen is that we'd be playing Smash. And this is the original Super Smash Brothers, and we would play it on time for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 20-minute time matches.
You're just like, I have no idea who's in the lead right now.
With like the scores hidden and items on like maximum spawning.
Yeah.
You know, and we just went fucking nuts. And some of you were hearing that like, well, ain't you guys just a bunch of fucking casuals? And we'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, we played to have fun.
Yeah, that's fun for us. Like we didn't edge guard, not because like we wanted the other person to die and we wanted to win. It was just because we wanted both of us to have a good time, and we realized that if either one of us edge guard, we felt dirty. We was like, oh, that wasn't fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
And again, that's just us, you know.
Yeah, and I can see where you're coming from. From my perspective, the first game I was too young to really be competitive. I just had fun with it. But when I got Melee, I had a friend who played it too, and we got really competitive with each other. Like he was a Link main, and I was a Falco main. I mean, my main character changed a little bit, but it ended up being Falco in the end. Like, I ended up getting really good with Falco. And we had a lot of fun with the game, even though we got really competitive. And I was actually thinking about this the other day, the whole concept of edge guarding. Because I remember when I played against you, like there's a video on my old channel where we actually had a fight. And I edge guarded in that video because that's just what I was used to, because that's how we fought.
Yeah, and if you pay attention to me, I never edge guarded. I would knock you off the stage, and then I would walk to the center and wait for you to come back.
Yeah. And that's just because we came from different perspectives. But the whole idea of edge guarding, it's not like... I find the game that to be a really fascinating... That's when I'm off the edge or when my opponent's off the edge, I find that to be the most interesting part of Smash Bros. Because it's... Basically, if you want to jump out and... If you want to jump out and try to like meteor smash them or stop them getting onto the edge, you're risking yourself. And if you're standing on the edge and waiting for them, there's a lot of ways you can get around that. Like, you know, for example, playing Ike in Brawler, the Smash Bros. For Wii U, his Aether is a really good anti-edge guard move because he just goes below the edge, throws the sword up, and knocks them out of the way so he can land safely. I mean, it varies based on which character you're playing, but standard edge guarding is only mildly effective if your opponent knows how to deal with it. And actual like jumping out to fight, like you see in a lot of pro matches, I've seen a lot of pros like throw a game because they messed up an edge guard and end up killing themselves instead. It's an interesting like level of mind games, and it's a risk versus reward, which I find really fun to watch. Also, I was reading an article where apparently, not talking about other Smash Bros. Games, but specifically Melee, they measured like professional players' APM, and it actually rivals StarCraft in terms of APM for professional players.
And they're using a controller.
Yeah, that's what's ridiculous. It's I can't speak for other games, but for Melee at least, it requires a very, very high level of mastery. And if you watch some like pro players and doing Melee matches, it's really interesting to like all the feints and dodges, and it's a lot of positioning is really important.
Yeah. And that's true in other fighters. You know, positioning is always very important. And
yeah.
So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways, what else are we gonna talk about?
I was actually going to ask, since we're on the subject of fighters, one thing I don't think I've ever asked you before. What is the first fighter you can remember playing?
Mortal Kombat.
And do you remember which one specifically, or was it just the original Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, the original Mortal Kombat on the Sega.
Yeah.
What was it, Sega? No, wait, no, it wasn't. It was on the Sega. I can't remember which one. I remember it had blood in it, so it was probably the one in the arcade.
Yeah.
Because I think Mortal Kombat 2 went to the Sega. I can't remember. I have to go back in time. But my point is that there's blood in it, and I remember this a lot because my brother and I, we played all the time, and I remember around the same time the Mortal Kombat movie came out.
Oh yeah, I think you told me this. Or you told me stories about this. I don't know if it's this one.
It probably is. And so there's a scene in the movie where Johnny Cage is fighting Goro. And for those of you that don't know, that Goro is this really, really big guy with 4 arms, 3 fingers on each arm, and you see him earlier just completely wreck a dude.
Yeah.
Who looked fairly competent, like well, you know, and the guy just gets destroyed. Like there's nothing that he can do.
Is he the one in the newer Mortal Kombat, either 9 or X, where?
Yeah, he's in 10.
I mean, like, is he the one where when first fatality he just like rips you in half?
There are many fatalities like that.
I mean, like he takes the body with his 4 arms, rips in half, and holds both the halves up.
I want to say.
I seem to recall that was one, but.
I want to say yes. He also has another fatality where he rips like all 4 of your limbs off at once.
Oh, that works too.
Yeah, and he just like was just 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's like, I'm like, hey, get those back. He was using those.
Yeah.
Anyways, and so in the movie, Johnny Cage goes to fight the same guy.
Yeah.
You know, the fucking Goro, and Johnny Cage, not being the idiot that everybody thinks him to be, you know, he's fairly clever. He realized that doing just like a straight frontal assault on Goro isn't going to work. So he has a plan. And so as the fight is, you know, like it's about to start and they're circling each other, and Shang Tsung tells Goro to finish him quickly. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, and Johnny Cage says, like, I guess his catchphrase of the movie is like, all right, let's dance. And then Goro lets out a roar. And then Johnny Cage does a split and punches him right in the dick.
Yeah. And
then Goro's just like, oh, like he was not ready.
Yeah.
Like, he just has to say, just like, oh, it's just so like suddenly out of character.
Yeah.
Goro, like all the way up to that point, it seemed like Goro was like invincible, like he was untouchable. Yeah. Like nothing could hurt him. And you just punch him in the dick and like, oh yeah, I guess that would probably work. And so when Johnny Cage is trying to escape from it because he doesn't want to fight Goro while he's like surrounded by a bunch of other people, like he knows the best way to fight Goro is going to be in a place where he has a better advantage. Mm-hmm. He tries to relocate the fight, and as he's running away, he's climbing up a bit of a cliff face, and he's like, damn, that hurt.
Yeah.
And then he continues to climb away. And it's just, like, I remember that so much because I remember I was playing Johnny Cage against my brother and I learned how to do the crotch punch.
Yeah.
And I remember every time I did it, like whenever it was like, oh, and I kept doing it over and over again, and I killed him. I think he was Liu Kang. I killed Liu Kang by punching him in the dick over and over again.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, oh damn, that hurt, over and over again.
Yeah.
Oh god, it was good times. And then
Didn't you get in trouble for that?
Yeah, I did. I got in trouble for it, so I don't know why.
Yeah.
I will never know why. like, for those of you who would think, well, clearly it was because you were swearing. It's like, no, I got in trouble, and then my mom told me to go apologize to my brother. I don't know what I was saying sorry for.
Oh, like she never told you what it was. She didn't say you're not supposed to say that word. She's like, go apologize to your brother. It's like, what'd I do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the worst type of thing, you know. Like if I do something wrong, and I don't understand why it is that it's wrong.
Yeah.
Please fill in that why.
Yeah, like if you, it's frustrating when you ask why and then they won't tell you. It's like, well, tell me why, and then I'll say I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then you get more in trouble for saying that you're not going to say sorry. It's like, and then you're like, I will say sorry, just meet me halfway, goddamn!
Hey, tell me what I did wrong so I don't do it again.
Yeah, exactly. If I understand why it is it's wrong, then I'll know not to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just your arbitrary judgment that I have nothing to root it with.
Yeah.
And then my mom's like, you have a large vocabulary for a 5-year-old. I'm like, yeah.
Apparently.
For the longest time, I thought arbitrary was pronounced albatross.
That's always fun having those.
You and your albatross judgments.
It's like, what did you just say? Did you have a point where you said that and someone corrected you?
No,
in a really funny way.
I figured it out later. Like it clicked in my head. It's like somebody said arbitrary, and then like I looked up definition of the word. I was like, I thought that was albatross.
Yeah.
And then I was wrong.
At least you didn't have the whole thing like with me when I mispronounced archipelago.
Archipelago.
Yeah, which to be fair, I had never actually heard the word spoken. I'd only seen it in text. And English is a really weird language.
No, it's not. It's fairly simple.
Now, I'm taking a class in linguistics, and English is really weird sometimes.
I don't know. I think it's simple.
Yeah, there's a lot of arbitrary rules, like or albatross rules, where it's like my Japanese teacher says. Whenever we come across a rule in Japanese, where there's not an easy way to explain it, or not a way to like there's no reason for it. He says there's no rhyme or reason behind it.
Okay. And then that doesn't help.
Yeah, sometimes like students will ask like why do you use this, like why do you use O instead of ga at this point? It's like there's no rhyme or reason. It's just how Japanese is done.
You're like, thanks.
Yeah, I mean he's honest about it. Like that's what I like about that teacher in particular, because I've had a couple of different ones. I'm right now in Japanese 202, so it's my 5th class in the subject.
All right.
And he's the one I've had the most frequently, but he also he's really good about it. He's honest with the students, like how I think I told you before. He doesn't have finals because he doesn't want to show up for finals. So instead of having finals like the week before finals, he'll have just a regular unit test. Instead, like I just like how he's just very honest with the students, and that goes for language teaching as well. If he doesn't know why, then he'll say it. He's not gonna like try and hide behind the fact that he's
not gonna try to bullshit you.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's been teaching Japanese at Western for like 14 years, something like that. So he's a very experienced teacher.
Alright, I can respect that.
Yeah, so he's a good teacher.
Alright. Speaking of fighting, by the way, and teachers, One Punch Man.
Can we talk about that just a second?
Sure.
I just wanted to answer my own question as well, about the fighting game.
Alright, what was the question again? I forgot.
What was the first fighting game you can remember playing?
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, well, one more thing, though, before I forget.
Okay.
It was Mortal Kombat, and then, like, Mortal Kombat was like, the only fighting game we had for, like, the longest time, like, all the way up to, like, Mortal Kombat 4.
Yeah.
I want to say. And then we found the battle mode in Mario Kart 64, and holy shit, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Like, that wasn't a fighting game, but my god, was it competitive as shit.
Yeah.
Like
that, and I also had fun with the battle modes in Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh yeah, I not so much my brother and I. We didn't have as much fun with Diddy Kong Racing because like it was just a little bit too difficult for us.
Yeah, me and my siblings like to go into the adventure mode. Because I had 2-player mode where you could actually, like, one person would like be driving around the overworld to pick the races, and they'd drive into like a racetrack, and then player 2 would get to race along with them. and whoever placed highest got to have control in the overworld as to what race goes next.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it is.
Alright, anyways.
So yeah, like I was gonna say, my first one technically would be the original Super Smash Brothers. That was at least the first one I owned and the first one I can really have any memories playing.
But I don't count it.
But there are a bunch of fighting games I played over at friends' house, like on one-time occasions. I can't remember what they were. I'm sure I think I played like Street Fighter and Tekken at different points.
Okay.
But I don't remember when it was, or every time it was always at a friend's house, like a one-time thing. First fighting game I can remember owning and actually playing myself, or maybe renting from Blockbuster back when that was a thing.
Okay.
Was the Soul Calibur 2.
Okay.
I had the GameCube version, which had Link, so I thought that was awesome.
Oh, by the way, real quick, I know this isn't a fighter, but this is a beat 'em up, and I remember this game so much. It was a 3D beat 'em up.
Yeah.
It's called The Bouncer. This game's
I
really
don't know
weird.
about it.
Like when I first played it, I was like, yeah, I think I got it. I think I understand. And then like I didn't understand shit.
Yeah.
The game was weird. It just reeked of fucking Square Enix's fucking touch.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Square, you're silly.
Yeah, it's interesting to, like, especially like I remember I didn't own any beat-em-ups, but I played a lot of them in arcades. Because I used to go to a lot of arcades like Chuck E. Cheese, and I don't remember if there were any other ones in particular, but that's the only one I remember by name.
Okay.
And there are always a lot of beat-em-ups. Like I remember playing the original X-Men like arcade game.
You know why that is?
Is it good?
No, it's because it's the easiest way to take your money.
That's true. Or your tokens. I remember one time, I don't know why, I have this really vivid memory of me and like 3 other friends. I think it was like a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese or something. All 4 of us like co-oping through the like I think it was like a Simpsons beat 'em up.
Okay.
All I remember about the game is it was Simpsons, and then there was like this ability where you could actually do like pair attacks with if you had 2 characters like come together, you could actually have them like join up and do like a pair attack.
Okay.
Like what was one of them? I can't remember. I think if you had like a Homer and was his wife Marge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the show, so I don't know much about it. Remember, like Homer and Marge would like lock arms and legs, like start rolling around the battlefield and just like bowling over enemies. And I remember like we kept playing, and whenever one of us died, we put in another token, and we actually ended up being the entire thing. Took up a lot of our tokens, and then I'm just like, no, I don't have any tickets, because that was one of those games that didn't give prize tickets.
But it was just fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Ah.
I remember one time actually, it was kind of ridiculous. I remember going to a Chuck E. Cheese once and seeing on the prize counter, they had the new Nintendo GameCube for 20,000 tickets.
Okay.
I'm just like, that's a lot of tickets. You know, part of my mind was thinking to itself, if I get the jackpot on one of these games, maybe I can actually get a GameCube. But at the same time, 20,000 tickets when the average payout of a game was maybe 10.
Yeah.
You end up spending more on the tokens than you would on the GameCube itself.
Yeah.
Unless you, again, hit like jackpot. Even the jackpots tend to be like maybe 100 or 200 tickets if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Unlike those little spinning games, you have to like stop the light in the right spot.
I hate that fucking game.
I actually had some fun with that, because I actually hit the jackpot once, and I got like 100 tickets.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. But even then, 20,000 tickets.
Isn't that kind of teaching your kids to gamble with that fucking spinning light thing?
In a way, I guess it could be, but at the same time,
it's like a bit of a game of chance.
It's slightly bit. It's more a game of it's a bit of a game of chance, but it's more a game of reflexes, where you just have to be really, really on point to hit it, and like no one has the reflexes to get it every time. It's not like it's like a slot machine where you pull the lever and hope for the best. It's one where you actually have to like time it as best as you can, because it's not like the speed varies or changes or anything like that.
Anyways.
So yeah.
So One Punch Man.
One Punch Man.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first 2 episodes, so we're not that far into it, but
well,
I'm liking it so far.
Seen the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I'm liking what I've seen so far.
Yeah. It's fantastic, and because of One Punch Man, there's an anime reviewer who's I have 2 people on YouTube whose opinion on anime I have a high amount of respect for. One of them is Douchebag Chocolate Demolition D.
Yeah.
Because the man's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and he also basically summed up your opinion of Sword Art Online to a T.
Yeah.
Although he actually saw the second arc instead of just giving up after one episode.
As is tradition. Anyways, so, the goddamn thing that I love is, the other person I like is Glass Reflection.
I don't think I've heard of that person.
You haven't?
I don't believe so. Maybe show me one of his videos, but I don't associate the video with the name.
He's got a really good he's got a really good review show.
Yeah.
He puts thought into it. Sorry. He puts thought into it, and there's a lot of review, and it's very well outlined and organized, and he explains all this stuff, and then he even explains why it is that certain things work and certain things don't work. And then he uses, like, when he goes to use a term that that a lot of people know, but not a lot of people don't, but some people don't know, he still goes ahead and explains it anyway. Just so that way there isn't really a big bar of entry for anyone who's watching his videos.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So yeah, those who don't know, I'm sure everybody knows at this point, especially if you're watching this podcast, but One Punch Man is just about a superhero. It's like a world where people can be superheroes. And this average guy, who I think he was like a businessman before, who was looking for a job.
Yeah, he was unemployed and looking for a job.
Yeah, he ends up saving a kid's life, and because he wants to be a hero, so he ends up saving this kid's life from a monster. Ends up taking that to another level. So over the next 2 or 3 years?
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. He ends up training to the point where he's so powerful that he can kill any enemy in anything. He can just kill it in one punch.
And he lost all of his hair.
Yeah, he also went bald. But it's interesting because like I knew that much going in. Or not the whole backstory, but the whole fact that this is all like episode 1 stuff. So it's not really spoilers, but I knew the fact that he could kill anything in one punch. I didn't know anything else. But so I'm like, okay, it sounds like a silly anime and all that. But I started watching and like it's actually really interesting to see because he's a superhero who kills everything in one punch, which means before he was always in it for the thrill of the battle and for feeling good about saving people. At this point, he's become so powerful that there's no longer a challenge anywhere he goes. So he's kind of just like, he's always looking for the next big thing. He's like, hopefully this one will provide enough of a challenge for me so that I can actually get more than one punch in and I can actually have fun with the fight.
Hopefully this one won't disappoint.
Yeah. And it's a superhero where he is saving the day, but at the same time he really wants something to actually resist his one punch.
Yeah. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it is. It's an interesting concept I didn't really think about. What happens to a superhero is too strong.
Yeah. You're just like, yeah. He just goes like also if you guys something interesting on the backstory of the goddamn thing is that the guy who created his name is One. He originally made it as a webcomic.
Oh, you told me the story.
Which then got picked up and turned into a manga, and then which then got picked up and turned into an anime.
Did you guys' name is One?
Yeah, his name is One.
And he made One Punch Man.
Yes.
I don't know why I find that kind of funny. Just his name is One, so like One Punch Man.
They're not one, but
I know.
Yeah. If his name was One, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
It'd be like.
Well, I was just really enunciating on the one. One Punch Man.
His name should have been One. That'd be neat.
Yeah. Yeah, so anything else to say about stuff?
I'm not entirely sure. How long have we been talking?
I think roughly 40 minutes.
Do you want to call it early?
Oh, 40 minutes is kind of our target time is 40 to 60 minutes, so if we don't have anything to talk about, we don't really need to drag this out any longer.
Alright, well, let's call it early.
Or right on time, depending on...
Nope, early.
Alright, fine, early.
Alright.
Again, if you guys have anything you want to hear us talk about, leave in the comments. We're not out of ideas, so we can think of other stuff to talk about. If we talk about something of relevant interest, then maybe you guys will enjoy it more. Mm-hmm. All three of you.
All three of you.
It'd be funny if this podcast ended up becoming really popular, so we had like thousands of people listening every week, and then they go back and watch our old episodes, like all three of you. And it's like, what are you talking about? This is a really popular podcast.
You know what? I would still continue with that catchphrase.
From two of us to all three of you. That should be like our sign-off for this podcast. From the two of us to all three of you.
That's literally a gain of 150%.
Yeah. I think that's one way of looking at it.
Yeah. Here's one thing I want to say before I leave, by the way.
Okay.
Is that at work I'm like generally like really like kind of peppy, happy, you know, all that good stuff. Because I always am, you know, like whatever I have to be professional.
Yeah, because it's in a customer service setting. It's really good to have that.
Yeah, and also I don't like being professional, so I just be happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's close enough. And so I'll be.
It's like that one. I don't know if you told. I don't think this was on a podcast. We talked about those two girls who came in. You made some kind of D&D reference, and they didn't get it. So like, I'll bet you don't even know what a D20 is. It's like, I know what a 420 is.
Yeah, I know what a 420 is. I'm like, haha.
Yeah, what's talking before that though?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Because I remember, like, you said something that made them laugh.
It was like I can't remember the story. I just remember like their 420 joke was funnier than my shit.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's just something along the lines of like something
point
that
is,
I don't know, it was really funny.
My point is that like I'm always like happy and all that stuff. And whenever someone asks me, it's like you're a really happy person. You know, like how do you always stay happy? It's like it's quite simple. I have a lot of darkness on the inside.
Yeah.
That I just cover up with a smile.
Yeah, it's kind of how you said you had, like a lot of teens, you had an angst period, but only lasted for like a week. And like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I was just like, whatever, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Anyways, so, did we end it?
I guess so. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been Support Conversations. I'm Solanima.
And I'm Zathos.
And be sure to tune in next month.
Still getting used to your new name.
I'm sure we'll be used to it eventually.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Alright, see ya.
Goodbye, everybody.